Mr. Gilbert and the Reynolds High School team for the many positive things that have happened at Reynolds High School. One of the things that I would like to say, that regardless of how many good things we do, and there are many good things at Reynolds High School, we have seen it with many people. No matter how many good things we do, we are also accountable for the mistakes we make. And I think that that's one thing that we all have to be very aware of and acknowledge, that accountability is part of our lives. We all have to have that. Teachers, administrators, board members are all accountable for it, despite, and sometimes our mistakes cause us problems, even though we've had some great accomplishments. So I want to start by that. There is no denial, there is absolutely no denial by anybody in this administration or on the board of the positive things that occurred at Reynolds High School. However, there have been issues this year that have come up. And I would like to also say that in terms of a timeline, an investigation related to complaints about Mr. Gilbert's work started quite a bit before his license expired at the end of January. He had been informed prior to that license expiration that there was an investigation going on. And at that time it was related to two things. He was informed that there was an investigation going on related to some complaints that were coming mainly from staff related to property that had been destroyed in the high school. So that investigation was going on. There was also an investigation going on related to a tort claim that one of our employees made in regard to the claim that her civil rights had been denied in an employment situation. We were also, by law, by necessity, investigating that. And that was in place long before the licensure piece came up. In addition, in advance to the licensure piece coming up, we had been having some difficulty in getting information regarding the ASB accounts. I can tell you firmly, I don't have it in writing because it was informal at first. I can tell you I had asked Mr. Gilbert well over a year ago to produce records for us around the ASB accounts because we were not seeing any. I had also asked Mr. Gilbert about expenditures, and to a large degree he indicated to me that he was paying for a lot of it himself. We did not know, nor did we have details around the ASB accounts, and we had asked for them. There were routine audits that were done every year, yes. But those routine audits were very, very spot check type audits that were done with the assumption that the money was being expended properly, and all we needed to check was process. So there were kind of spot checks of whether the forms were filled out. Now at a school like Reynolds High School, where they deal with hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of time, and literally probably hundreds of invoices, wouldn't you say? Hundreds of invoices. The auditors only spot checked a number of them. And that's what had happened over the past few years. However, this year, Dr. Rhodes and I became more and more uncomfortable with questions we had about expenditures. The audit, the internal audit that Dr. Rhodes' team performed in the fall yielded us some information but created a lot of questions that were unanswered for us. We were unable to get more information. So it was my responsibility as a superintendent to take some action to find out what was really going on. Therefore, when Mr. Gilbert was put on leave as a result of his not having his license, and the leave started on February 1st, I told Dr. Rhodes, and we actually decided together that this would be a time for us to actually do a full audit of the expenditures of the ASB accounts. And so we sent an internal audit team in, and at the end of 2 days, they had enough concerns that we brought in a professional auditing team.
Wow.
We have announced in public that the investigation now has expanded to the use of ASB funds. That's the ongoing investigation that we have focused on at this point. In the meantime, Mr. Gilbert has continued to work on his classes. I have been informed that he has taken classes from Dr. Bob Fisher, who is the former superintendent of Reynolds School District, and that he has earned credits through him and has submitted his paperwork to TSBC. And anybody can check that on the TSB. There is evidence he has submitted that paperwork to TSBC. We have informed Mr. Gilbert that the investigation is taking place, and through counsel, through our counsel and his counsel, he has been given full information and full documentation of the contents of the investigation. In order to give him due process, he has been given time to respond. On Monday of this, it was Monday, wasn't it? It was Monday. On Monday of this week, Mr. Gilbert, his attorney, and our attorney met to review the findings and to give Mr. Gilbert an opportunity to respond to the findings. My understanding is, at this point, he has been given, they have scheduled another interview. Is that correct? Have they scheduled another interview? Because I have notes from you. I don't know if you have more information on that. But as far as we know, the investigation is still in progress. In the interest of due process and laws around this, the district can still not reveal the details of the investigation, and that's where we are right now. So it is difficult for the district, it is difficult for the board, and it is difficult for the administration to not have this resolved at this time. But I would like to just say that we have to be really diligent in our work to ensure that due process is done and the rights of Mr. Gilbert in this investigation are fully recognized and paid attention to. So that's where we are. And as I've had experience with in my entire career as an administrator, which has been over 20 years right now, that it is our duty to be very careful about due process. We cannot talk about the details of an investigation. And I think everybody knows that the employee is not bound by those rules. So we will continue to act appropriately, and when the time comes that we can reveal this, we will make a full statement, and we will reveal our recommendations, and the administrative team, myself specifically, will make a recommendation to the board with the results of all of the investigation.
Well, Dr. Henstrand, real quick, just a couple of points of clarification in your comments. That was much more than I expected you to share. Thank you for your level of detail. Appreciate that you talked about the fact that a change agent is always going to attract supporters and critics, and no doubt about his dedication, devotion, long hours, and why you said little because of due process, and why the board has said little. We are the governance and oversight body, and we are waiting, as you are,